The war memorial floated in the void between stars, a monument of twisted metal and crystallized tears. Bella stood before the holographic display, her reflection ghosting across names that scrolled endlessly into digital infinity. 23 billion humans, gone in 6 months. You're thinking about them again, Kanat said, his voice cutting through her reverie. The Zolothan diplomat's translator rendered his clicking speech into perfect Mandarin, though Bella had long since learned to hear the fear beneath his words. The Cravacs, Bella said simply, not turning from the memorial. Do you know what they did wrong, Ambassador? Kanat's 3 eyes blinked in sequence, a nervous gesture she'd catalogued during their months of negotiations. They underestimated your species. They believed humans were soft because you showed mercy to... No. Bella finally turned, and Kanat took an involuntary step backward. Even after humanity's great silence had ended, even after they'd rejoined galactic civilization, that look still made aliens remember. They made us furious. The Cravacs had been apex predators on the galactic stage for 3,000 years. When they'd encountered humanity's colony ships spreading through the Orion Arm, they'd done what predators do. They hunted. The massacre at New Mumbai had been calculated to send a message. These systems belonged to the Cravacs Empire, and humans were merely prey. But they'd miscalculated one fundamental truth about humanity. Humans weren't prey. They were persistence hunters wrapped in civilization's thin veneer, and the Cravacs had just stripped that veneer away. Walk with me, Bella commanded, and Kanat followed, his crystalline carapace clicking nervously as they moved through the memorial station. The first exhibits showed humanity's initial response. Diplomatic channels, peace offerings, territorial concessions. The Galactic Council had praised human restraint. The Cravacs had laughed and struck 3 more colonies. 15 million dead in a week. This is where it changed, Bella said, stopping before a simple display. A child's drawing preserved behind quantum glass. Crude crayon strokes depicted a family. Mother, father, 2 children, a dog. All circled in red with a single word scrawled above. Gone. The artist? Kanat asked quietly. Survived the new Beijing attack. She was 7. The Cravacs left survivors deliberately to spread fear. Bella's voice carried no emotion, which somehow made it worse. They didn't understand that human fear doesn't paralyze. It transforms into something else entirely. The next section documented what the galaxy now called the 100 Days of Silence. Humanity had gone quiet. No diplomatic messages, no distress calls, no pleas to the Galactic Council. Every human fleet, every colony, every station simply stopped communicating with the wider galaxy. The Council had debated intervention. The Cravacs had celebrated, believing they'd broken human spirit. They were wrong. Bella led Kanat to the central chamber, where a massive hologram rotated slowly. It showed the Cravacs' home system as it had been. 3 suns blazing around 7 inhabited worlds. Population 42 billion. What happened next? Kanat whispered, though he knew. Everyone knew. We learned, Bella said. During those 100 days, humanity did what it does best. We adapted. We innovated. We became what we needed to be. She gestured, and the hologram shifted, showing human ships emerging from quantum tunnels, not the exploration vessels or colony transports the galaxy had seen before. These were different. Every civilian ship was retrofitted, Bella continued. Every factory converted. Every human with knowledge of weapons, engineering, biology, or tactical warfare was conscripted. We pulled back every asset from across human space and built an armada with one purpose. The hologram played out in horrifying silence. Human ships didn't engage in the traditional broadside exchanges the galaxy was accustomed to. They swarmed like piranhas, each vessel coordinating with mathematical precision. They introduced biological agents that targeted Cravac's biochemistry specifically. They cracked planets with relativistic weapons launched from the edge of systems. They hunted down every Cravac ship station and outpost across 15 sectors. In 37 days, Bella said, her voice barely above a whisper, the Cravacs ceased to exist as a species. Not enslaved. Not scattered. Extinct. We didn't leave refugees. We didn't take prisoners. We eliminated them as thoroughly as they'd tried to eliminate us. Kanat's translator struggled with the sounds he made, settling finally on, why show me this? Why memorialize such brutality? Because, Bella turned to face him fully, the Galactic Council needs to understand what they're negotiating with. You see us now back in our diplomatic roles, trading fairly, building peacefully. You want to believe that this, she gestured at the hologram, was an aberration, a moment of madness we've moved past. She stepped closer, and Canet fought every instinct not to flee. But here's what you need to understand, Ambassador. The Cravacs weren't annihilated by human madness. They were annihilated by human focus, by the same drive that took us from caves to spacecraft in 10,000 years, by the same persistence that made us the galaxy's most prolific explorers. When humanity commits to something, building, exploring, loving, we commit absolutely. Bella gestured one last time, and the hologram vanished, replaced by current star charts showing human territories. Smaller now than before the war, bordered by dozens of alien civilizations. We choose to be peaceful, she said. We choose to be neighbors, partners, friends. But choice is the operative word. The Cravacs learned what happens when you take our choice away, when you make humanity truly furious. Canet found his voice finally. Is this a threat? No. Bella smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. It's a reminder. Humanity doesn't want to be the galaxy's apex predator. We want to be its gardeners, its artists, its dreamers. But we remember how to be monsters when we must, and we remember who taught us we might need to be. She began walking toward the exit, then paused. Tell the Council we accept their trade proposal. Tell them humanity seeks peace above all else, but also tell them why this memorial exists, not to celebrate what we did, but to ensure we never forget the cost of fury, ours and theirs. Canet watched her leave, then turned back to the memorial one last time. The names scrolled endlessly. 23 billion humans lost, 42 billion Cravacs erased. In the silence of the memorial, he finally understood. Humanity hadn't built this place to remember their victory. They'd built it to remember who they'd become when pushed too far. A warning not to the galaxy, but to themselves. The most terrifying species in the galaxy, Canet realized, wasn't the one that couldn't control its rage. It was the one that could, but chose to remember what happened when that control broke. He left the memorial quickly, his report already forming. The Council would accept humanity's terms. They would build this peace carefully, respectfully, because in the end, the galaxy had learned the same lesson as the Cravacs, just with the mercy of survival to carry it forward. Never make humanity furious. Never again.